Have you ever felt that the moment you long for the most each day, the moment of coming home, suddenly turns into the arrival of another invisible burden? The door opens, and what greets you is not peace, but a silent reminder of everything unfinished. It is not just the pile of mail on the table, the shoes scattered at the entrance, or the coat thrown hastily over a chair. It runs deeper than that. It is the whisper of a weary space, holding its breath under the weight of too many objects, too many postponed decisions, too many later. Our home, the place meant to shelter the soul, ends up mirroring the very chaos and exhaustion inside our minds, a silent battle. And so, we fall into the same familiar cycle, spending our precious weekends cleaning and organizing, only to watch the clutter creep back in just a few days later, like an uninvited guest, so familiar it is frightening. We convince ourselves that in order to have a tidy home, we must pay the price of fatigue. But what if there were another way? A path that does not demand exhausting deep clean marathons, but instead invites small, gentle shifts, rooted in centuries of Japanese wisdom. A path where tidying is not a burden, but a journey of healing, a way to reconnect with yourself. This is not a checklist of chores. This is an invitation to slow down, to breathe, and to discover together 10 simple habits that can transform not only your home, but your entire life into a place of true peace, a place you long to return to. Habit 1. Tidy by category, not by location. Have you ever felt as if you were running on a hamster wheel, caught in a never-ending cycle of cleaning? You spend your Sunday morning scrubbing the kitchen, reorganizing every drawer. The room sparkles. You breathe a sigh of relief. But only a few days later, the chaos creeps back in, like an uninvited guest, so familiar it is frightening. We tidy the bedroom, only to find the living room in disarray. We organize the closet, only to stumble upon a pile of old belongings stored away in the attic. We keep fighting with one corner of the house at a time, without realizing that we are losing a much bigger battle. This is not your fault. It is a symptom of an outdated method, an illusion of progress. We were taught that cleaning must go room by room, but Marie Kondo, with her quiet revolution, revealed a truth that is both simple and profound. You cannot heal a forest by tending to each leaf individually. You must see the entire ecosystem, and the very first habit, the foundation of all change, is this: tidy by category, not by location. Listen to that again. Tidy by category, not by location. This is not just a clever trick. It is a shift in perception. Instead of asking, which room should I clean today? Ask yourself, which category should I clean today? Instead of being trapped in a single room, we embark on a pilgrimage, traveling through the house and calling forth each tribe of our belongings. All the clothes, all the books, all the papers. We gather them, bring them into the light, and assemble them in one place. The first time you try this, the feeling may be overwhelming. As you pull out every shirt, every pair of pants, every sock from every corner, from the main closet, from an old suitcase under the bed, from the laundry basket waiting to be washed, and pile them into a mountain on the floor, you may find yourself laughing, or even shocked. Do I really own this much? That is the moment of awakening. That is when the curtain of clutter is lifted, and you come face to face with the truth of your own habits of accumulation. Cleaning by location is nothing more than shifting messes from one place to another, like trying to flatten waves on a lake. They dissolve for a moment, only to rise again somewhere else. But when you gather everything together, you are no longer facing scattered ripples. You are facing the entire ocean. This is the essence of the method. It forces us to stop, to look, to feel the weight, both physical and emotional, of everything we own. Only when you see 20 nearly identical white t-shirts lying side by side do you truly grasp the excess. Only when you confront the full army of your possessions do you gain the strength and clarity to decide. This is no longer about tidying. This is an honest conversation with your life. A delicate proverb captures it best. In order to know what you truly need, you must first face everything you already have. Psychologically, it brings a strange kind of liberation. Our brain, instead of juggling countless small and scattered tasks in different places, is now focused on one single, coherent mission. It is as if you no longer have to read random letters one by one, but are allowed to read a complete sentence. The chaos in your mind begins to quiet, making way for clarity and a profound sense of control. You are no longer a victim of your living space. You become its creator. Begin this journey with clothing. It is the easiest category emotionally, a perfect training ground for your decision-making muscles. Set aside a day, play some gentle music, and begin the great migration of your wardrobe. Do not rush. Do not judge. Simply observe the mountain of belongings before you. That mountain is not your enemy. It is a mirror reflecting the stories, the choices, and the burdens you have carried all along. And from that very mountain, you will begin to find lightness. This is not a chore. This is the first step on a path back to yourself. It begins by freeing the space around you, so that you may also free the space within your soul. Habit 2. Keep only what sparks joy. And now, as the mountain of your belongings stands before you, towering, undeniable, the true journey begins. We have used reason to arrange the world outside. Now, we will use the heart to listen to the world within. This second habit is the very soul of the revolution, the key that opens the door to genuine freedom. Keep only what sparks joy. Sparks joy. When Marie Kondo first introduced this phrase, it resonated across the world. But do not mistake it for loud excitement or a burst of euphoria. The joy we seek here is far more subtle. It is a quiet vibration, a gentle warmth that spreads from your chest when you hold an item in your hands. Sometimes it is simply a sense of peace, a feeling of rightness that words cannot explain. Your body, instinctively, will recognize it. It is a whisper, not a shout. If you feel heavy, indifferent, or burdened, that is your answer. This is the moment we must face the most ruthless dictators in our homes. What if one day I need it, but it is still good, and I paid so much money for it? These arguments may sound reasonable, but they are invisible chains, binding us to a past that no longer serves us, and to a future that will never come. They turn our homes into museums of hesitation, warehouses of regret. By placing joy above all else, we commit an act of courageous rebellion. We declare that our feelings matter more than false convenience. We choose the happiness of the present over the fear of the future. So, let us begin. Stand before your mountain of clothes. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a deep breath and imagine the life you truly desire, a space where everything around you nourishes your spirit. Now, open your eyes. Pick up each item. Do not toss it aside. Hold it with both hands, with respect. Feel the texture of the fabric, sense its weight, and then ask, not with your mind, but with your heart, does this still spark joy for me? Listen to your body, it knows the truth. You may discover that an old sweater, though perfectly fine, carries the memory of a weaker version of yourself that you no longer wish to hold on to. A glamorous dress, even if expensive, may fill you with self-doubt every time you try it on. Thank them. Thank you for the thrill you gave me when I first brought you home. Thank you for teaching me that this style is not for me. And then, let them go. This is not waste. True waste is allowing them to occupy the precious space of your home and your mind, year after year. The guiding proverb for this journey is simple yet profound. Your home is not a storage for the past. It is a sanctuary for the brightest version of your present. As you move to other categories, this standard remains your compass. With books, pick one up and ask, will reading this ignite a flame of curiosity? Or does it sit there as a silent reminder of what you think you should do? With miscellaneous items, komono, ask whether that kitchen tool inspires you to cook a meal with joy, or whether it simply adds to the clutter in a drawer. Even with sentimental objects, old photos, gifts, keepsakes, the question remains the same. Does it bring a warm joy, or does it hold you captive in a sorrow that never fades? Letting go of a keepsake does not mean erasing a memory. It means choosing to keep the love while releasing the pain. This process is not only about cleaning your house, it is about cleansing your soul. Every decision to keep or let go strengthens your trust in your own intuition. You are learning to believe in yourself, in your emotions. You are redefining your relationship with the material world, not as a passive consumer, but as a deliberate curator of life. Your living space will gradually transform. It will not only become tidier, it will become more authentic. Each remaining item will be a companion, a source of inspiration, a declaration of the person you wish to become, and that is the beginning of a life overflowing with joy. Habit 3. Master the art of vertical folding. Imagine this. Every morning, you open your dresser drawer, and instead of facing a heap of chaos, shirts crumpled, suffocated, and forgotten, you are greeted by a scene of calm and beauty. Every item stands tall, upright like honored soldiers, ready to serve you in all their dignity. This is not some extravagant dream. This is the result of the third habit, mastering the art of vertical folding. This is not just a technique, it is a ritual. In Japanese culture, there is a deep belief that objects too have a spirit, and that they serve us better when treated with respect. When we carelessly toss clothes into drawers or pile them one over another, we unknowingly send a message of disregard. We suffocate them, distort their shape, drain their energy. Vertical folding, on the other hand, is an act of gratitude. It is a way of channeling our care and energy into the fabric itself, allowing our clothes to rest, to recover. Think about the emotional difference. A cluttered drawer instantly creates micro-stress in the brain. Your eyes must scan through the mess, and your mind must dig and search. Even the simple act of choosing a shirt becomes tiring. But a drawer arranged vertically is like a miniature library, a small Zen garden of colors. Everything is in plain sight. You can glance once and choose exactly what your heart desires, without hesitation, without frustration. This tiny shift has immense power. It frees your mental energy for the things that truly matter in your morning. So, how is this art performed? Begin with a t-shirt. Lay it flat on a surface. Take a moment to smooth out the wrinkles, as if soothing a dear friend. Fold the sides inward to form a long rectangle. Then, instead of rolling it up, fold it in half, then in thirds, until it becomes a neat little package that can stand upright. Here is the secret. It must be able to stand. When an item can stand on its own, it has found its balance, a state of stability and readiness. When you place these clothing packages in a drawer, line them side by side, front to back, like books on a shelf, you will be amazed. Space seems to multiply. You may save up to half the area compared to stacking, but more importantly, you can see everything you own at a glance. No shirt is ever abandoned at the bottom. Every item is treated equally. The philosophy behind this is beautiful. Outer order does more than create stillness. It is a prayer for inner peace. At first, this may feel time-consuming. Old habits will resist, but turn it into a mindful practice. Instead of rushing, slow down. Feel each garment in your hands. Recall the happy memories it carries. See folding not as a burden, but as 5 minutes of evening meditation, a way to reconnect with what you cherish. This deliberate, repetitive act has a healing effect. It soothes the nervous system and brings a quiet sense of fulfillment. Begin with a single drawer, your sock drawer perhaps. Try folding them vertically and notice the difference. Gradually, you will want to bring this serenity and beauty into every corner of your wardrobe. You will begin to see your clothes differently. They are no longer lifeless things. They are companions, deserving of a tidy home where they can rest in dignity. By caring for your belongings, in truth, you are learning how to care for yourself. Habit 4, the daily reset. You have accomplished something extraordinary. Your home is breathing. Your space is singing a song of stillness. But there is an uninvited guest, a silent intruder we call the slow return of clutter. It does not arrive like a storm. It slips quietly into your home through the smallest of actions. A coat left draped over a chair, a few unopened letters resting on the table, a pair of shoes at the door. Bit by bit, they gather, and before long, the peace you worked so hard to create is veiled once again beneath the dust of procrastination. The fourth habit is the guardian of that peace, the daily reset. This is not cleaning. Think of it instead as a ritual to close the day. Just as you brush your teeth before bed or read a few pages to quiet the mind, the daily reset is the act of putting your home to sleep. All it takes is 5 to 10 minutes each evening before you fully surrender to rest, to return everything to its home. Its power does not lie in intensity, but in consistency. It is the heartbeat of an orderly life, a quiet promise that clutter will never be given the chance to take root again. Consider this. Small messes invite bigger ones. A dirty cup on the desk soon attracts a few scraps of paper, then a book, and before long, an entire corner of your desk has become a no man's land. The daily reset interrupts this cycle before it begins. It works like a release valve, clearing away the stagnant energy of the day and ensuring that you always wake to a blank page, both in your space and in your mind. You are no longer battling yesterday's mess. You are gifting your tomorrow self with something priceless: serenity. So, what does this ritual look like? It is simple and it is beautiful. Begin at the end of the day when the lights are soft. Play an instrumental song you love. Take a gentle walk through your home. First stop, the entryway. Hang up the coat, place the shoes on the rack, sort the letters. 30 seconds, no more. Next, the kitchen, the heart of your home. Wipe the counter, load the last dishes into the washer, and fold the dish towel neatly as a gesture of gratitude. Finally, the bedroom, your sanctuary. Smooth the bed, fold the clothes you just changed out of, and place them in the basket. Set the book you were reading back on the table. That is it. Throughout this ritual, practice the one-touch rule. When you pick something up, take it directly to where it belongs. Do not set it down for now, because for now is the door through which chaos sneaks back in. You will be amazed at how, with just 5 minutes of focus, your home can be reset as if by magic. And here lies the mantra of sustainable order. Peace is not a destination we clean to reach. Peace is a path we build, step by step, each day. This habit will transform your relationship with your home. It is no longer a battlefield to conquer at the end of each week. It becomes a companion, a living space you care for daily. And its benefits ripple outward. When you fall asleep in a tidy space, your sleep is deeper. When you awaken to a clear mind, your day is more creative and productive. If you miss a day because you are too tired, do not blame yourself. Perfection is not the goal. Care and compassion are. Begin again the next evening. Slowly, this ritual will become as natural as breathing, an act of love for your home and for your soul. Habit 5. Embrace the beauty of empty space. We have learned how to protect our homes from the invasion of clutter. Now, in this fresh stillness, you may begin to feel something else: a breath, an openness. This is the moment we are ready to truly embrace the 5th habit, one of the most beautiful and refined concepts in Japanese aesthetics. Embracing the beauty of empty space. In Japanese, is not simply emptiness. It is not a void that demands to be filled. Is the pause between musical notes, the very silence that gives birth to melody. It is the intentional space between objects, the very space that allows each piece to shine. In a society that constantly urges us toward more possessions, more activity, more noise, teaches us that true power lives in less. It is the vibrant presence of absence. Look at a bookshelf crammed to bursting. Your eyes feel strained, your mind feels heavy. It is like a conversation with no end. Now, imagine that same shelf holding only the books you truly love, arranged with delicate spaces in between. There is room for light to filter in, room for air to flow. Suddenly, the shelf feels inviting. It is no longer storage. It is a gallery. That is It is space that lets your mind breathe, that gives your creativity a place to grow. To embrace is an act of courage against our deep-rooted fear of emptiness. We often rush to fill every surface, every corner, as if emptiness were an enemy to be conquered. Yet in doing so, we create suffocation. We add to the weight of perception. We exhaust ourselves. By intentionally creating and honoring empty spaces, you send a powerful message to your subconscious. I have enough. I am at peace. I do not need to fill myself with the external to feel whole. So, how do we invite into our homes? Begin by seeing your space as an artist would. After you have chosen the items that spark joy, resist the urge to pack them tightly together. Try filling your drawer only 70%. Leave a margin of openness above, like a promise of spaciousness. On a table or kitchen counter, instead of many items, try leaving only 3. A vase, a candle, a book. Let the space around them magnify their beauty. The guiding proverb of this art is simple. We do not find peace by filling our lives, but by creating space for life to emerge. Make it a practice. Each week, set aside 10 minutes for a audit. Try moving a chair just a few inches away from the wall. Try removing a few decorations from a shelf, then pause. Feel the shift in the energy of the room. Notice how cleaning becomes easier. Notice how the space feels wider, lighter. Your desk, when left with only a computer and a notebook, suddenly transforms into a place that invites focus rather than distraction. This is not only about arranging belongings. This is about arranging your life. When you create physical space in your home, you are also unconsciously creating space in your mind, in your schedule. You make room for new ideas to arrive. You allow stillness to take root. Your home ceases to be a container for objects. It becomes a sanctuary for the soul, a canvas upon which a more peaceful, intentional life is painted each day. Habit 6. Designate a home for every single item. Now, within your home, there is space to breathe, space for energy to flow. You have learned to honor absence as much as presence. But to protect this delicate harmony, every remaining item, every companion that sparks joy, needs one final gift: a place to call home. The 6th habit is the foundation of lasting order. Designate a home for every item. Think about the times you have rushed around in frustration, muttering to yourself, "Where are the scissors? Where did my keys go?" Each search is a small tear in the fabric of your peace. What we often do not realize is that our greatest mental fatigue does not come from grand problems, but from hundreds of tiny decisions and searches each day. When an object has no fixed home, it becomes a wanderer, and we, unknowingly, become servants to its wandering. This habit ends that forever. It is not just about putting things away neatly. It is a philosophical act. We give every object a place of honor, a rightful belonging. The television remote is no longer abandoned on the sofa. It has a home in the small tray on the coffee table. The pen you love is no longer lost in a drawer. It has a home in the cup on your desk. When you do this, a kind of magic happens. You free your mind. There are no more decisions, no more searches. Your hand simply knows where to go, instinctively, smoothly. So, how do we build this city of homes? Begin right after you finish selecting a category. For each item you decide to keep, ask a simple question. Where do you live? The ideal spot is as close as possible to where it is used. Spices should live beside the stove. The book you are reading should live on the nightstand. Think like an architect of convenience. Each home must be easy to enter and easy to leave. If putting something away is too complicated, we will delay. Simplicity is the key. This is where small boxes, trays, and dividers become your allies. They do more than create visual order. They draw clear boundaries. They declare, this is the home of the batteries. This is the kingdom of the stationery. When everything has a clearly named place, the daily reset from habit 4 becomes effortless, almost automatic. It no longer feels like work. It becomes flow. The core mantra of this practice is, when everything has a place, the mind is free to soar. Turn this into a small ritual. When you place an item in its new home for the first time, whisper, "This is your home now." It may sound unusual, but this act forges a connection, a promise between you and your belongings. It strengthens the habit within your mind. For the household, decide together on the homes of shared objects. This builds not only agreement, but also teaches children responsibility and respect for space. When everything has its place, your home transforms. It is no longer a random collection of objects, but a living ecosystem, perfectly tuned, where every piece supports your life. The peace you feel is no longer fragile. It becomes steady and enduring, built upon a system of clarity and respect. You will discover a profound sense of freedom and control, the feeling of a true captain steering the ship, no longer tossed about by the waves of clutter. Habit 7. Practice gratitude for your belongings. Your home now has order, an order shaped from the outside, built with smart systems. But for that peace to sink deeper, into the very core of your being, we need an order that comes from within, nurtured by a primal and powerful emotion. This 7th habit is the beating heart of the entire journey, the golden thread that ties it all together, practicing gratitude for your belongings. In the Shinto philosophy of Japan, it is believed that everything carries a spirit called kami, a rock, a river, even the simplest household item. They are not lifeless things. They are companions that have quietly served you, witnessed your joys and sorrows, and contributed to the story of your life. Marie Kondo, deeply influenced by this spirit, taught us a simple yet profound ritual, saying, "Thank you." Think about the last time you threw something away. Perhaps you felt a flicker of guilt, a touch of regret. That is because you were cutting off a relationship without a proper farewell. Practicing gratitude changes everything. When you hold in your hands a shirt that no longer sparks joy, instead of discarding it in haste, pause for a moment, touch it. Remember how it once kept you warm or gave you confidence, and then whisper a sincere thank you. Thank you for walking beside me. Now, I let you go. This small act holds extraordinary power. It is not superstition, it is therapy. It transforms the guilty act of throwing away into a sacred ceremony of appreciation. You are no longer a careless owner. You become a loyal friend, sending off an old companion with dignity. The guilt dissolves, replaced by serenity. You come to see that letting go is not a loss. It is an act of love for the item and for yourself. The guiding mantra of this sacred connection is this: gratitude is not what we say when we finally have enough. It is the path through which we realize we have always been enough. Let gratitude weave into every moment of your day. When you take a cup from its home, silently thank it for holding your warm drink. When you return home and hang up your coat, thank it for shielding you from the world outside. During your daily reset, finish by glancing around the room and quietly thanking 3 objects that served you best that day. This habit will completely reshape your worldview. You will begin to see everything, not only objects, through the lens of appreciation. You will feel less driven to shop impulsively because you have learned to find joy in what you already have. Your relationship with the material world will shift from ownership to stewardship, from possession to care. Your home will not only be tidy, it will become sacred. Every corner, every item, radiating the energy of gratitude given and gratitude received. And within such a space, your soul will find its deepest, most lasting peace. Habit 8. Utilize smart, compact storage, making the most of your space. You have learned to speak with your home in the language of the heart through gratitude. Now, we will answer that love with the most practical and intelligent act of all. We will not only give items a home, we will build for them the perfect homes. The 8th habit is the art of turning limits into strength, utilizing smart, compact storage. Forget about bulky cabinets and heavy boxes that merely hide the clutter. Storage, in the world of KonMari, is not about stuffing things away. It is a graceful dance with space. It is the art of making every square inch of your home work in harmony with you rather than against you, especially in city apartments where space is a rare luxury. This habit becomes a savior. It does not ask you for a bigger house. It invites you to embrace a smarter mindset. Begin by looking at your space with new eyes. Become an explorer within your own home. Look up, look down. There is hidden treasure in the air above your doors, beneath your bed, behind your sofa. These are uncharted lands waiting to be useful. Smart storage is the act of awakening these hidden potentials. A simple wall-mounted shelf can transform a bare wall into a tiny library. A few hanging baskets can completely liberate your kitchen counters. The secret lies in being light and transparent. Instead of opaque boxes that make you forget what lies inside, choose solutions that allow you to see everything. Clear acrylic containers and drawers, thin yet sturdy dividers. They create order without heaviness. They honor the beauty of empty space, by not overwhelming it. They are like delicate frames, showcasing the beauty of your joy-sparking items, neatly arranged upright within. The core philosophy behind these solutions is simple. Space is not measured in square meters, but in the creativity and love we place into it. Turn this into a creative project. Instead of rushing to buy new things, begin with what you already have. An old shoebox, wrapped in beautiful paper, can become the perfect divider. A wooden ladder, no longer in use, can become a unique towel rack. Let your imagination take flight. When organization becomes a creative act, it ceases to be a burden. It becomes a source of joy. In the kitchen, magnetic strips can free your drawers from the weight of knives. In the closet, vacuum-sealed bags can shrink your off-season clothes into a fraction of their size, returning precious space to you. The goal is not to hide everything away. The goal is to make everything easily accessible, displayed at its best. Your home will not only feel more spacious, it will feel smarter, more flexible, and truly a partner in your daily life. You will discover a strange kind of freedom, the freedom of knowing that no matter how small your space may be, you will always have enough room for what truly matters. Habit 9. Genkan style entryway discipline. Your home is now optimized. Every belonging has a smart home of its own, and gratitude has become the soul of your space. But there is a truth we often overlook. The battle with clutter does not only happen inside, it begins at the most symbolic place of all, the threshold of your home. This is where the outside world, with all its dust, its urgency, and its chaotic energy, meets the inner world of peace. The ninth habit is the steadfast guardian of that peace, the discipline of the Genkan, stopping clutter at the door. In Japanese culture, the Genkan is not just an entryway. It is a sacred space, both a visible and invisible boundary. It is where you remove the shoes that have walked the world, and with them, you shed the burdens and worries of the day. You leave the outside world behind, and you step into your home with a cleansed spirit. This habit invites us to create a Genkan of our own, no matter where we live. It does not require architectural change. It requires a change of ritual. Think about your entryway now. Is it a small battlefield where shoes pile up, bags are dropped in haste, and unopened letters wait to turn into a mountain of clutter? Every item left there is a seed of chaos, ready to sprout and spread through the entire home. The discipline of the Genkan pulls these seeds out at the root. It applies one simple but powerful rule. Everything brought in from the outside must be handled immediately, right at the door. This ritual takes only a minute. When you come home, take a breath and perform a small dance of order. Step 1. Shoes placed neatly on the rack. Step 2. Coat hung on the hook. Step 3. Bag put in its place. Step 4. Mail sorted. Junk goes directly into the trash. 1 minute. Just that 1 minute builds a barrier strong enough to stop 80% of daily clutter from entering your living space. The mantra of this silent guardian is this: peace in the home does not begin with cleaning. It begins with the decision not to carry chaos across the threshold. This habit brings more than physical benefit. It is an act of deep emotional healing. Your entryway becomes an emotional buffer zone. When you practice this ritual, you are sending a signal to your mind. Work is over. Stress stays outside. Now it is time to return to peace, to return to myself. Each day you step into a space that welcomes you with stillness, rather than one that reminds you of unfinished tasks. Create a Genkan, even if it is only as small as a doormat. Place a little chair for changing shoes, a few hooks, a charming basket for keys. Make it a space of intention and beauty. Over time, you will realize that this is not a harsh discipline, but an act of self-love. By protecting the purity of your home, you are protecting the purity of your soul. Habit 10. The immediate response. Rule. Your home is now a sanctuary. A solid system has been established and a spirit of gratitude has been lit. But life is a current, and small ripples of disorder will always appear. A cup just used, a letter just opened, an email just received. Procrastination, even for just a few minutes, is the crack through which chaos finds its way back in. The 10th habit, the final one, is the magic that seals those cracks. The rule of immediate action, the 2-minute miracle. This is not a time management trick. It is a philosophy of life. It is profoundly simple. If something takes less than 2 minutes to complete, do it immediately. Do not think. Do not delay. Do not add it to a list of things to do. Act. 2 minutes is the fragile threshold between done now and done later. And it is in the space of later that mountains of chaos are formed. Think about it. Washing a dish right after you eat. 1 minute. Folding the blanket as soon as you wake up. 30 seconds. Replying to a short message. 45 seconds. Wiping a stain from the counter. 20 seconds. Each of these actions on its own seems small, insignificant. But when you do them immediately, you are doing something extraordinary. You are stopping accumulation. You are extinguishing sparks before they can ignite into a fire. This rule frees your mind in a miraculous way. Our brains have a strange tendency. They cling to unfinished tasks. Each small job postponed is like an open tab in the browser of your mind, silently draining energy and focus. The 2-minute miracle closes those tabs instantly. It brings relief, clarity, and allows you to devote your full mental energy to what truly matters. The big ideas, the meaningful work. This is the summit of the entire journey. It is the glue that binds all 9 other habits together. It transforms the daily reset into a seamless flow of instant actions rather than a chore left for the end of the day. It protects empty space, from being invaded by temporary clutter. It ensures that every item returns to its home without hesitation. The final mantra of this journey, the promise of a new beginning, is this: a great life is not built by extraordinary deeds, but by countless small moments cherished and completed. Turn it into a game. When faced with a small task, challenge yourself. Can I do this in 2 minutes? You will be amazed to find that most of the time, you can. Slowly, this habit will sink into your subconscious. You will no longer struggle against laziness. You will act naturally, like a river flowing. Order will no longer be a goal you chase. It will simply be the natural result of the way you live, moment by moment. With this miracle, you are no longer cleaning. You are living in harmony. And so, our journey through 10 habits has reached its final moments. But perhaps you can feel it too. This is not an ending. This is a threshold. You see, the ultimate goal was never just a tidy home. That was only the canvas. A tidy home creates a tidy life. A tidy life nurtures a tidy mind. And a tidy mind is where true peace takes root and blossoms. The habits we have shared are not rigid rules to follow mechanically. Think of them instead as small seeds. Seeds of stillness, of intention, of gentleness toward yourself. You do not need to plant them all at once. Simply choose the seed that speaks to you most deeply and begin there. And just like any garden, it grows more beautiful, more warm when it is shared. I would love to hear your story. Down below, in our little garden, leave a note. Which seed do you feel called to plant first in your own life? If these words have touched a quiet corner of peace within you, a like will be a warm signal of connection. And if you would like to continue walking with me on this journey of finding beauty in the simple things, press subscribe so that we will not lose one another along the road ahead. Thank you for giving your precious time here. I wish you a journey filled with peace.